Pramo ato abusuafo mamu nyina akwa aba eba UTV premto breka sebo yi so ene eye afofida efie da bi edikan e obronya bosumi mu no aban aye ne se yegyinsi ho na yemmo akuafo nyina aba so e wo my Ghana mu enti despite media e ma akuafo nyina ayiko na kasebo enwuma ku aso yasreme ye de ebremu eye special ice mineral water afi ye special drinks eno cola e wo mu orange e wo mu strawberry e wo mu ye adwumade bia na opano no de akwakọ serve wase na wakwa Pebi best assurance ewo ho best point savings and loans abre ya bank ho nsem ayedija ewo my Ghana mu ope bank ya ahotoso ewo mu na wakọ best point savings and loans wo mu behwe atoto niema yie nyina ama wo YouTube enchine so ewo ho na afi this way chocolate drink so wo mu so ewo ho a wo mu so yasene me de kasebo yi ebremu ene awie yi na kasebo no wo mu a anase niema hodo a edi mu akotene bi ene se ene day enampanifo ayasi ho a wo mo ebo akuafo abaso ewo kepus enu ntine mpanifo eye nananom ene ahemfo eye a president ene wo mo ka biye nyina akwa kopie mu ewo kepus a wo mo di dwumadie no ewo ho afi so yenko eye bronya ensemu eye nyina nim se bronya base ya na enuane ahodo a ense emfatanamanfo package de akọ eye market enu ntine mpanifo kire so mo de kokobo base obi ahwe ne ho yi na wo kwa akoto aduane a watimi atode eye papa afi so yenkonko pie mu ewo ga south eye adehia wo mo domi abra wo mo ekire mu se wo mo nya ensupa ennom ewo ho enu ntine mpanifo meye wo mo emmoa na wo mo ma wo mo ensupa na wo eye international na se amanone ensemu so no Sudan aban so e de aba betu dwa se wo mu transitional government no wo mu eguso a etoto eniema yie e wo ho nti UN4 emra wo mmoa se de be ye wo betimi aye ne yie ama ebi akoso kama pa ensem bi eka we hu ya editie na edihwe ne esamufu aso no so se ye famrem se premto bre kasebo miam de kasebo yi ebremu eye munua ba adwoa obi ya oben ye mo enwura ensem no emu ene wo Cape Coast no na empanifo aya adwene se Ghana fo akuafo am wo my Ghana mu wo mo eboa mayensa ekoya no enu nti esede fatase etimi ebo wo maba so ehye wo mo enkran enu nti empanifo aya dwumadie aya mamre ene amane wo ho a wo mo aya dwumadie no amana ye fe empanifo bebre akwakopie mu ewase nam so emaye oswafo a wo hwe eye fisheries and aquaculture so honorable Hawa Kumsin akokasa wo dwumadie no asenti yenkonkotie nsema hodo a wo de etudwa
House of Chiefs, the Chair, Honorable Minister for Food and Agriculture, Honorable Regional Minister and Regional Ministers present, colleague ministers and deputy ministers, Nananom, Honorable Members of Parliament here present, MMDCs, the clergy, the Chief Executive of Cocoa Board and ADB, Chief Directors of MOFAD and MOFA, Directors and Officials from MOFAD and MOFA and Cocoa Board, the Ghana Police Band and security officers present, our esteemed sponsors, distinguished award winners, executives of Fisheries and Fishers Association, representatives of development partners, civil society groups, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. I am particularly excited to join His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana, colleague ministers and members of Parliament, farmers and fishers across the country, and the good people of the Central Region to observe this year's National Farmers Day celebration. This unique day allows us as Ghanaians to recognize the hard work and dedication of farmers and fishers and their contribution to national development during the year. I therefore take the opportunity to wish all farmers and fishers a happy Farmers Day celebration, and to congratulate all award winners for their outstanding performance during the year. I say Ayuko. Nana Chairman, for the first time in the history of the Farmers Day celebration, the overall national best fisher will be awarded a 2-bedroom self-contained house. This has been made possible through the generous contribution of our sponsors who have over the years supported the ministry to award our hard-working fishermen, fish farmers, and fish processors.
Now, what you might yes, no swap for your own so Honorable Dr. Owusu Afriye Akoto, and so Akokasawa, and Yankuti and Samahudwa, what they a tuja.
Ministers of State, the Central Regional Minister, Honorable Deputy Ministers, Chairman and members of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Food, Agriculture and Cocoa Affairs, Metropolitan, Municipal and District Chief Executives, members of the Diplomatic Corps, the Managing Director of Agricultural Development Bank, and heads of financial institutions here assembled, the Chairman and Chief Executive of Ghana Cocoa Board, Nananom, the 2020 National Best Farmer, directors of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture and the Ministry of Fisheries and Agriculture, the members of the media fraternity, invited guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We are here today in Cape Coast, the capital of the Central Region, to observe National Farmers' Day, one of the most important events on our national calendar. As Minister for Food and Agriculture, whose key deliverables include organizing the occasion of the National Farmers' Day, I'm pleased to have you all join His Excellency the President to honor our farmers and fishers for consistently contributing to the nation's well-being and prosperity. The celebration of National Farmers' Day, as we all know, is grounded in law, specifically the Public Holiday Act 2001, Act 601. This underlines the nation's recognition of the unique role of farmers and fishers in our developmental efforts as a people. Officially, Mr. President, the celebration of this year's National Farmers' Day event, the 37th edition since inception, started 5 days ago with the opening of an agriculture fair on Monday, the 29th of November. The choice of Central Region and Cape Coast as the venue for this year's Farmers' Day celebrations was determined by the long-standing principle of rotation of venues for hosting the national event.
Na yanya ne ntese oman yi ye mampanyi nana adodankwa akufu ado akopie mu ewo dwumadie no ase a wo bekasa enti yenko ne yenkonkotie nsama hodo mampanyi so ede to yakuafo no anim.
National culture safo fitiri ma no me de masefa papa na ma ho de ndu o anka me so ne ware mu nyina Metropolitan Catholic Archbishop of Cape Coast and other eminent clergy, including the Central Regional Chief Imam, the Chairperson, or therefore Amwakwa Boadu VII, President of the Central Regional House of Chiefs and the Mahine of Bremen Traditional Area, Central Regional Minister, Member of the Council of State, Minister for Food and Agriculture, Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, the Member of Parliament for Wutusenya East, Ministers and Deputy Ministers of State, Member of Parliament for Cape Coast South and other Members of Parliament, Municipal Chief Executive for Cape Coast, the Chairperson, members of the Board of Directors and Chief Cocoa Board, Cocoa Initiative, Managing Director of the Agricultural Development Bank, Osabema Kwesiata II, Omahine of the Ogwa traditional area, and other traditional rulers, members of the diplomatic corps, farmers and fisher folk, residents of Cape Coast, fellow Ghanaians, ladies and gentlemen. It is good to be back in the historic, beautiful capital of the Central Region and Ogwamai, Cape Coast, Gwe, to celebrate the 37th edition of Farmers' Day. It has been 10 years since the region hosted this day, which has been set aside annually to celebrate the hard work of our farmers and fisher folk, who feed not only the citizens of our nation, but in West Africa. Because of the efforts of our farmers and fisher folk in ensuring that there were no shortage of food at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. I say a big, hearty aiko to all of you. Nyame, enhyira mu nyinaa, na ɔhyɛ da mbɔ akuafoɔ ne afarefoɔ ɛho ban. Agriculture plays a crucial role in the growth of our country, ensuring security, providing the raw material, agriculture is not lost on my government. It has found expression in government's coordinated program of economic and social development policies. The theme for this year's celebration is further evidence of government's commitment to the sector. Planting for food and jobs, consolidating the food systems, alludes to the progress government over the last 5 years to modernize and transform Ghanaian agriculture and to build on these gains to improve and expand the sector. Consolidating and strengthening our food systems have become even more critical in light of COVID-19, which continues to disrupt global supply chains, stability of the food system worldwide. The need thus to build sustainable, resilient, and equitable food systems that can withstand shocks is of the greatest necessity. Fellow Ghanaians, when you so graciously conferred on my mother's self the mantle of national leadership nearly 5 years ago, my government set out to transform Ghanaian agriculture through investment in integrated and mutually reinforcing measures that are yielding positive results. The central pillar of government's transformative policy, the program for planting for food and jobs, launched in Goso in April 2017, has evolved into 5 models strategically designed to exploit the huge potential in food crops, tree crops, vegetables, and livestock subsectors. Agricultural mechanization has also been identified as an important intervention to increase farm efficiency and reduce the drudgery of farm operations. Complementary programs, such as the revitalization of the National Food Buffer Stock Company to improve market access, investment in warehouses to store grain surpluses anticipated from increased productivity and production, the One Village, One Dam policy to increase water availability for all year production, and the One District, One Factory initiative to promote rural industrialization have all contributed to the success since chalked in the agriculture sector. The record is impressive. We have, through the program, achieved a yearly average growth of agriculture of 5.8% from 2017 to 2020, compared to the 2.7% growth we inherited in 2016. To date, a total of 1.4 million metric tons of fertilizers and some 91,000 metric tons of certified seeds have been made available to farmers since 2017, with the number of beneficiary farmers now hitting the 1.7 million mark, taking off from the initial number of 207,000 farmers in 2017. Through planning for export and rural development, which was launched in 2019 to promote the rapid development of 6 strategic tree crops, that is rubber, oil palm, cashew, mango, coconut, and shea, and thereby diversify and augment our export earnings. Some 29 million seedlings have been distributed to some 220,000 beneficiary farmers. Rearing for food and jobs, aimed at expanding domestic meat production and reducing the huge annual import bill for meat and meat products of some $300 million United States dollars, has seen thousands of different livestock species being distributed to 7 national livestock breeding stations in 196 MMDAs across the country. Vegetable production under the greenhouse village concept has also been promoted intensively, with 3 centers established at Dawinya, Akumadan, and Bojoase for commercial production and training of youth interested in establishing agribusiness in the vegetable value chain. To improve the efficiency of farmer operations, a total of 8,980 units of various machineries and equipment have been imported to enhance access to mechanization services by farmers. 63 out of the proposed 81,000 metric capacity warehouses have been completed. This has increased the warehouse capacity owned by government to 97,000 metric tons. Additional warehouses will be constructed to handle the expected increased production of grains, to enlarge storage and reduce post-harvest losses. The result of significant investment by my government in the Ghana Commercial Agriculture Program has resulted in the availability of a total of 13,190 hectares of additional irrigable land through the rehabilitation of Tono, Pong Left Bank, and Pong irrigation schemes for rice and vegetable cultivation. This has benefited some 14,264 smallholder beneficiaries directly, creating some 40,000 jobs from several value chain activities generated from the irrigation schemes. To address the perennial challenges of access to credit for our farmers and fisherfolk, the Ghana Incentive-Based Risk-Sharing Agricultural Lending Scheme, GERSL, was established in 2019 to guarantee banks lending to boost agriculture. In 2 years of its operations, GERSL has provided and issued credit guarantees for agricultural loans to the tune of 273 million cedis. We're also introducing insurance products through the Ghana Agricultural Insurance Pool GAIP as risk mitigating measures to promote investment in agriculture. My government has also succeeded in reviving agricultural extension services, beginning with a staff strength of 1,580 in 2016. 2,700 more extension officers were recruited by 2019, improving the extension officer to farmer ratio from 1 to 1,500 in 2016 to 1 to 706 currently. This is how still below the FAO recommended ratio of 1 to 500, which is our goal. I'm happy to inform you that approval has been given by Cabinet for the recruitment of an additional number of 1,100 veterinary officers into the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. 50% of this number will be recruited in 2022, and the remaining 50% progressively taken on board over a 2-year period. Construction works on fish landing sites and harbor projects located in the Greater Accra, Central and Western regions are progressing steadily. These projects are expected to facilitate the transformation of the fisheries sector by providing modernized berthing, handling, processing, and mechanization facilities to fisherfolk. The necessary preparatory works are also ongoing for the enactment of a new Fisheries Act to replace the existing Fisheries Act 2002, Act 625, which would better address lapses in the existing legislation and deepen sustainable management of fisheries resources. Government is happy to note that the fishing community has enthusiastically embraced and has seen the benefits of the closed season policy. Furthermore, Cabinet has granted approval for the procurement of a research vessel and 4 patrol boats for the fisheries sector. The acquisition of a research vessel will facilitate regular fisheries research and stock assessment that will amplify data availability for strategies for science-based fisheries management. The 4 patrol boats will also strengthen enforcement capacity to help address the issue of overexploitation and overfishing, as well as help curb the pervasive incidents of illegal, unreported, unregulated fishing. Government will continue to do all it can to help preserve the marine ecosystem. Cocoa, which has been the mainstay of the Ghanaian economy, has also seen significant transformation since 2017. From an average production of 880,000 tons, the country hit an all-time record production of 1,047,385 tons in 2021, being the highest ever yearly production of cocoa since it was introduced into Ghana in 1879. This has been made possible by the introduction of productivity improvement techniques that ensure higher yields from the same acreage, the adoption of technology and practices that modernize cocoa production in an environmentally, socially, and sustainable manner, the design of policies to address the inequalities in the international marketing system of cocoa by paying a living income differential of an additional 400 United States dollars per ton of cocoa to farmers, and the fostering of partnerships and collaborative actions of stakeholders towards greater investments. In addition to the increase in productivity, these particular interventions have created direct employment for some 72,906 young people. Furthermore, 300 domestic businesses have been created to provide service delivery in the rehabilitation of farms. The commencement of the provision of a pension scheme for farmers started in 2020 under my government, even though the law was promulgated in 1984, with successive governments being unable to bring it into being. The pilot pension scheme has initially covered some 2,800 farmers in the new Edubiasi cocoa district of the Ashanti region, and a nationwide registration of all cocoa farmers is ongoing under the cocoa management system to speed up the process. Chairperson, Nana Chairperson, in spite of these considerable advances, we know there's still a lot of work to be done to bring our nation's agricultural sector up to par with those of the world's leading economies. Ghana's agricultural sector is confronted with several challenges, key amongst them today being COVID-19, which is affecting commodity flows and the price of fertilizers. There are also matters relating to the outbreak of bird flu and the effects of climate change. The government will continue to take the requisite measures to address these challenges and ensure that agriculture continues on an accelerated growth trajectory. Despite having a relatively low active case count of 727 persons infected with COVID-19 as of 28th November, and vaccinating a total of 5,556,210 persons, it is important that we bear in mind that the pandemic is far from over. Last Sunday, the Ghana Health Service announced several important additional measures aimed at ensuring that we continue to win the fight against the virus. I appeal to all of you to adhere to them. Moreover, to fast-track our economic recovery from the pandemic, the Ghana Cares Obantampa program has been launched. The program will inject into the economy 100 billion cedis with support from the private sector that will help create jobs and develop industry. The agricultural component of Ghana Cares is to support commercial farming by attracting young people into agriculture, developing and promoting agro-processing and food import substitution commodities such as rice, poultry, sugar, cassava through PPP arrangements, and facilitating access to land and affordable financing. A framework has been developed to provide 50% interest rate subsidy for loans advanced to qualified agro-businesses by financial institutions. This will be extended to qualified farmers to expand poultry production operations for hatcheries and processing plants. The target is to support the farmers with affordable financing to produce 5 million broiler birds, equivalent to 10,000 metric tons of meat, by the end of this month of December. Government is aware that investors continue to face challenges with respect to accessing agricultural land due to the unfortunate multiple land tenure arrangements and the absence of satisfactory documentation on land titles. As part of the Ghana Cares program, government is creating an agricultural land information bank, which will enable landowners to put forward lands to the bank they intend to lease to investors. This will reduce the cost and difficulties of land searches for investors. Nana Chairperson, one obvious downside of the pandemic has been the upsurge in the world prices of fertilizers. As some manufacturing companies shut down or reduced production because of the increase in gas prices. Suppliers thus could not provide the requisite quantities needed for the 2021 production season. These developments have intensified the need for us, finally, to have our own domestic facilities for the manufacture of fertilizers in significant quantities to meet our needs. Government is working on this. Nevertheless, for the time being, whilst ensuring the early award of contracts for the supply of fertilizers, government is also collaborating with the ACP group of companies, a Moroccan conglomerate, to map soils in Ghana according to their nutrition and chemical composition. This will enable the use of blended fertilizers specific to soil types, promote efficient use of fertilizers, and increase productivity. To eliminate any possible abuse of fertilizer subsidies, a farmer database has been developed with biometric information, a feature for tracking fertilizer bags, and a subsidy redemption solution with inbuilt security features such as deduplication, token verification, and biometric authentication before subsidies are disbursed to farmers. Out of the target figure of 1.2 million farmers earmarked for registration, a total of 597,662 have been registered as of October 2021. The others will be registered as soon as possible. This will help in proper planning and targeting of fertilizer and seed subsidy beneficiaries and prevent smuggling. Through the use of digital technology, the Ghana Commodity Exchange is employing digital platforms to trade in agricultural commodities. Towards combating the menace of climate change, which has considerable impact on the fundamentals required for our survival on Earth, rise in sea levels, severe and extreme weather conditions such as droughts, floods, and erratic rainfall patterns, and growing desertification, Ghana is employing well-designed policies and strategies with action plans and programs to this end. The Green Ghana Project, and the implementation of the Ghana Cocoa Forest Red Plus programs are examples of the policies being undertaken to help realize the global commitment of halving emissions by 2030 and attaining neutrality by 2050. And Chairperson, I remain confident that Ghana can leverage her food systems to achieve the vision of a Ghana beyond aid. There is wealth in agriculture. Government will continue to create the enabling environment and put in place the necessary policies and programs to strengthen the linkages between the program for planting for food and jobs, which has been one of the great successes of my government, and the rural industrialization agenda of one district, one factory. We're devising smarter strategies for their implementation and working closely with the private sector to exploit every opportunity that will bring about enhanced livelihoods and economic empowerment for all. We will continue to rely on the support of our untiring farmers and all actors in the food system. I take this opportunity to call for the support of all stakeholders, including our garden farmers and fisherfolk, value chain actors, entrepreneurs, financial institutions, policy makers, researchers, and friends of Ghana towards the realization of government's agenda of transformation of the agricultural sector and consolidation of our food systems. I wish you a happy and memorable Farmers' Day celebration. Memamo Fishiapa, and congratulations to all award winners, especially the National Best Farmer and the National Best Fisherman. May God bless our farmers and fisherfolk and us all. And may God bless our homeland Ghana and make her great and strong. I thank you for your attention. Big one.
abusuafo mu gusu ehwe UTV from Tobre Kasebo ba bia yedru ye betwa ye ho ne yakogye aboafo nkrato aba ye ba ye beto akasebo no so menko ba bia ye twa ye ho basisia